Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We've got a really interesting one here for you. We got Pietro, a sorcery altar artist. We wanted to take this time to announce season 4 of Sorcerer Summit, and our grand prize is going to be an altar by Pietro. We're going to get into that and some of his backgrounds and what he loves sorcery. But Pietro, welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the altars. They're really cool. First question: who are you? What's your background in sorcery? How'd you get started?
Well, hi everyone. First of all, thanks for having me here with this chat. And I'm an artist. I do altars. I've been doing altars for a little while, for a few months, and I just fell in love with sorcery. I came in with beta when the pre-order was available, and since then I've just been playing sorcery almost every day.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. L- Yeah, luckily I'm in a part of Italy where we do have an active community. So
Cool.
even tonight I was in an LGS playing with some friends. And I saw you were doing, I've been following your channel since you opened them.
Ah,
And then I saw you were doing the summit, which I thought it was very interesting kind of event. And also the way you were, kind of thinking about experimenting with meta and trying to figure out things and also collecting data, which is very important. And then as an artist, I can't, as I was saying before, I can't really go to NGS and bring a box. But what I can do is I can do arters and bring art and use them as a way for prizes and stuff like that, right?
yeah, that's
So yeah, that's about it. And sadly, I came with beta, not with alpha. That
we're
would
welcome.
be
More the
really, really
merrier. It doesn't matter when
nice.
you join.
Yes.
I feel that pain too. I found out. I think I started playing like I don't know about a year and change ago. So yeah, I missed out on alpha.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But yeah, very cool.
you were talking about
Well,
playing.
did
Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, you got.
No.
I was just say, have you played like TCGs before, or is like Sorcery your
Oh
first
yes.
and only
No,
love,
no, no,
or?
no. I always played Magic.
Okay.
Only that. I was never really interested in other TCGs, mainly for the art, because I started Magic when it was what was Onslaught,
Oh,
so
okay.
like old Magic, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just beautiful because like they had these. Of course, there was a storytelling element already in Magic there, but as you were playing, you were also kind of developing a world, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened with sorcery with me, because like you play a village, and then all of a sudden you're there in that village, and there is that foot soldier that you create with that village, and that's just amazing, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
course, now we are more used to kind of storytelling where you have kind of like Arthurian legend, where you have a character and so on. So it's quite straightforward. But so that's why I was just into Magic back in the days, because whenever I was seeing another game, I was like, yeah, sure, but the art doesn't really make anything to me. I do like the
Mm-hmm.
gameplay of Magic, but then also, after a while, I was fed up with Magic a little bit, right? I
As
guess
everybody
You
gets
it's
at
don't.
some point.
It's like
oh
you don't
yes.
enjoy the storytelling of SpongeBob taking on Optimus Prime.
No, no, that's just yeah. So, and also, it was challenging because like I do really enjoy deck building. Okay, so it was like every month there is a new card. So what are you gonna do? Are you not gonna build a new commander deck with the new legend spicy legendary? Of course you're gonna do that. So it's it was a lot, and then I all of a sudden I discovered this game, and it's amazing art, very interesting gameplay, and they say it's just gonna be one set a year. Like, what? Seriously?
That's a bit of a hot topic right now.
I know, I know, I
That
know.
little
It's,
bit.
it's I know it's an art topic, but I'm happy with that. To be honest, it's just that like we are so used to we were talking about Magic, every month new content, right? We are used to that nowadays. We are
Mm-hmm.
used to a society where everything is just moving very fast. And so we have that rush of dopamine of just getting new things and new things and new things. So, we do forget that the goal of the game at the beginning was just one set a year, but our mentality does, we are not used to that anymore, right? So we do have to remind ourselves to that and kind of adjust our, needs for that. But I do understand that there is a necessity of more. So I would be okay if they end up doing like 2 sets a year, all right? But more of that would be, too much for me.
I like
But
2 sets a year.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also say
eventually,
that
yeah,
I will also say, to be fair, like the brains are very malleable and adaptable, which is great. But we are actually kind of hardwired now because of society
I know,
to be more ADD, short term, like
for sure.
short attention span, and needing that extra dopamine hit. That's like actually becoming hardwired into our anatomy now, which is kind of wild.
It is rooted in the way we are now, sadly. So it's
Mhm.
very difficult to then change everything back to different rhythmics. But
Yeah. Not to say that's a good thing. I'm just like, it's hard.
Yeah. And then we were talking about sorcery, and you were playing today. What were you playing today? Was it sorcerer? Are you playing sorcerer aggro or?
No, I'm very, very against that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm actually like for the past 2 weeks, I'm experimenting a seer deck, very controlly with a lot of land destruction. And
Land
it's working
destruction
very well.
seer. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So Roots is back in action. And
Somebody probably likes to hear that.
Oh well, I'm having fun with it. It's very, very controlly, and I tested out against Sorcery Fury Road against Archimago, and it worked very well.
Oh yeah.
Yes, of course, it's still early stages of this deck, so I still need to test it quite a bit more. But it's fun for me, not for the other person. If they get their side destroyed every turn, it's not the nicest things.
What's not to like about that? Listen, that is good, clean sorcery.
I couldn't agree more.
Look at that freaking
but
grin.
I know not everyone like
Got the
that.
receipts. Oh, that's hilarious.
We didn't plan this, by the way. I was just like, I should throw a sorcery shirt on for this. So that's pretty funny. I like that.
That said, I usually play that speaker. That's my main guy.
Okay.
Do like that recursion, like of every
Yeah.
minion that
Yeah.
more like control combo players, and so
Those bastards.
How about this?
Yes.
What's your favorite card in sorcery? If you had to pick one.
Oh, that's that's a tough one. That's a very, very tough one.
Or if you can narrow it down
So,
to two, or something. What is your top like?
yes, I would say like one of the cards that like at first made me realize, oh shit, this is like mind blowing, was probably Earthquake, because like Earthquake it just do so much in terms of like showing what the game is, because you're moving side, there is this dynamic of water side or earth side, so mass removal, but at the same time it's just moving pieces around. I would say Earthquake in terms of like showing gameplay, it's very interesting as a card.
Yeah, I would agree with that because like I feel like there's the very base. I mean, that's not my favorite card, but I would agree that that's. I like your answer because there's like the very easy. Oh, it's a board wipe, but it's not, right? Like it has a
It's
lot
not
of
just that.
interesting plays you can set up with Earthquake, even if you're not removing a minion. So I like that.
Earthquake would be a playable card if it didn't bury anything. It just moves sites around.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Actually, I know that we're trying to do a Pietro interview, but I am curious about Bruce. What your favorite card is?
Oh, I've said this a couple times on some different interviews. It's this great old one. I'm a Timmy at heart.
That's a good one.
I just want to punch face.
That's a good one.
It is a
That's a good
beautiful
one.
minion.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
How about you,
I like that.
CJ?
My usual answer is Avatar of Air.
Okay.
I am starting to become more partial as far as outside of avatars, Koi Nixie, basically for the same reason. I
Nice.
I find it to be such a valuable card, and I think I probably
So
misread
annoying. It's
it.
very annoying.
No, it's an angel. It's my baby.
I
It's so
couldn't
annoying. I
agree
love
more,
it.
but that's why it's annoying.
I know it's so good. I think I don't know what we ranked it when we did our like water tier list video, but we ranked it too low. Whatever it was is too low.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that card.
I
It
like-
did happen to me many times that the opponent had Koinixi against me, and that really screwed me up.
Yeah,
that force
she's
movement.
good.
Force movement is strong. I think both of those answers, like mine's just a minion, cool, but both of those answers show the difference of sorcery, right? The positional grid gameplay is so attractive to a lot of people.
It is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite aspect, but
Yeah.
this isn't about me. Although I might have a new favorite baddie.
Who's your baddie?
Oh, the chicken.
I hope we get a chicken card now.
Oh, it would be so nice.
That would be sick.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I want a chicken
I would
foot
love
soldier.
it.
I want to no like a frog. I just want a chicken just running around like it moves freely once per turn or something. Just runs around. Or a frog. There you go.
When it dies, wait, like a chicken with its head cut off. Like when it dies, it has one more turn before it's buried or whatever, or before it goes to the cemetery.
Running around with a chicken.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny.
That's awesome. To move it back to you, Pietro, like, what was your like a little more art question here? Like, what inspires you about art? What styles do you like? What are you into?
Okay, so well, I do have, let's say, artistic endeavors. One, which is the more figurative aspect of my artistic research, which is right now channeled to altars and painting, figurative painting. But then I have a whole of bunch of works that I do more for like the exhibition, stuff like that, where it's more abstract to do installation, video, and stuff like that. So it's very different from what you see for sorcery. But I did always had like sketchbook, a very vivid imagination where I kind of throw down monster creatures, weird stuff. And so when sorcery came along, I had a way to channel that into a more productive way, which was just me doodling in my sketchbook while I was doing the pieces for the shows and everything else, right? So I have these two, let's say, field. One, it's more abstract and nature and stuff like that, and then there is like the weird aspect of doing monster and creatures, which is always very, very fun.
Let the imagination
I like
run
it.
wild.
Mhm.
To clarify, so you're a full-time artist? Is that what you do?
Yes. Well,
That's awesome.
I do live in Italy, so it's very difficult to be a full-time artist. I do
Sure.
also teach.
Okay.
I do teach into American school. I teach drawings.
Oh, cool.
Because Florence is full of American school where like students come here for like Erasmus program.
Yeah,
And I usually have courses like Florence urban sketching, so I go around, we sketch, or like painting and plein air. Tomorrow I do have that, a painting
That's
and
cool.
plein air class, and so I do that. Then I do also have a gallery with my mother, so we organize exhibitions, stuff like that. So I do dabble in multiple things. They're all related though into arts.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
Uh,
that sounds a lot more interesting than mine.
So CJ has the last question. There's like anything you want to promote? Like I'm happy to link whatever you have. Like you want to have an Instagram or anything you wanted to shout out?
Yeah, well, I mainly publish on Instagram, but then of course it is linked to my Facebook account, and then a lot of sorcery community is active on Facebook, so of course I'm there as well. And that's it for like things to promote. Like one of the things that I sent you was this food AP of food soldier and a frog token. So I am preparing this little Kickstarter project about produce like tokens. And so that's why I sent you those AP.
We'll get better pictures, but
Mm-hmm. So not sure when that will be up. Probably in like 2 weeks or something like that.
Oh, that's soon. That's awesome.
Well, it's a small Kickstarter, something very basic in order to produce like tokens. There will be foil on front and full art on the back,
Cool.
stuff like
Cool.
that, like regular, like very similar to Sorcery. And I
Mhm.
thought it was also like very fitting, as Sorcery started as a Kickstarter to do something
Yeah.
art related to Sorcery in a Kickstarter instead of just opening like Shopify or something like that.
Sure.
And also because I was looking for something like art related that wasn't just alters. Of course, alter is fun to do it, but also
Mhm.
it's nice to do like bigger pictures. And so promotion wise, I would say that it's
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
project that I'm working on right now.
That's awesome.
And yeah, you can always find me on Instagram, even Discord.
And are you open to like commissions for altars and things like that as well?
Yeah, sure, of course.
We'll send anybody your
I figured
way.
I should ask, right? I'm sure people. Yeah, I'm sure people will be interested. I know I am. These are awesome. I'm like hoarding them. We'll edit these photos in so you guys can see them because they're kind of glary, but these altars are just incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I really like them. And then we can cut this part if you don't want to talk about it. But you had that playmat. I am very enamored with that playmat. So I'm just curious about like, is that going to be something that you would like mass produce or Kickstarter or like print or
So
if you're not comfortable about it, we can always cut this
no,
part.
no. Of course, so it's we can talk about it. It's not a problem. So I did want to make a Kickstarter with that. The problem is that shipping from Italy it's stupidly expensive.
Mhm.
So would you would you pay around 80 euros for shipment? I guess
That
not.
shipment?
For
Oh, that's
what?
rough.
Yes, that's rough. Yes,
Yeah. Ouch.
exactly. So if I manage to find a way to produce them and have someone to handle the overall thing in the States, then I
Mhm.
will definitely consider to develop that project
Mhm.
because it seems just very stupid to do a Kickstarter in here in Italy where
Yeah,
most of the consumer it's over there overseas, and
sure.
then you have that huge shipment fee, which is just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
wild. Yeah.
Yes, and also because
Damn.
like I did wanted like to ship like rolled instead of like just folded, because sometimes you receive payments that are all folded and they're all ruined, which
Mm.
is you know. And so it is the idea it's always there, and also like doing this first Kickstarter with the token was a way also to build up community and having already some engagement in order to do
Mhm.
something else afterwards. So it's still there, the idea of that playmat.
Yeah.
I just need to find the logistic for it.
Yeah.
That said, if you do want to do a playmat for like the winner of at the end of all the seasons, I'm open to it. As I previously said.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Now I have to win though.
No, CJ sent me the link to that playmat image, and he was gushing over it. He's like, "This is wild."
Yeah, yeah. I may have to bring out the big guns, Roots or something. I gotta get that playmat. Yeah, that's amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about while we have you here? Or how? Actually, you know what we didn't ask? How have you been like in the summit? Have you like had some? Have you had good times in there? Have you been having success in the
Oh,
summit?
sure. I played the last season. This one I'm not in because it's a busy month, so I didn't
Mhm.
have the time to play. But last season, yeah, I had fun. I qualified to the next round, but then I got beaten immediately. I received four Fist of Crow from an Archimago.
Oh.
4?
Yeah, well, the orb.
Oh, you
Oh
got
no!
orbs.
Yeah,
No.
that happened. What can you do? Nothing really.
That's the mill dream. They can mill you out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But it
Sorcery's
was fun.
great.
It was
Sorcery's
fun.
great.
Exactly. I that happened to me, and I was like, oh, that's okay. What can you do? That's beautiful. I received 4 Fist of Crow. I'm not mad. That's just
They
beautiful.
can rip apart your hand too, because 3 of those they've seen your hand. That's mean.
And
I
I
gotta
was
do
also
it.
playing like a very combo deck that speaker with monks. So
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there goes
Nothing
everything.
to do. I did
Yeah.
try afterwards just to try and rush by,
Just play it
doing a
out.
little bit of
Yeah.
damage, but that was just not possible. But that's
That's
it.
wild.
I did it fun, and
Yeah,
I am
good.
curious to hear about you. How you feel like it's going?
Yeah, we have some expected growing pains, I'd say, with
Mhm.
what the format should be, because having a month-long tournament rather than like a
Mhm.
one-day tournament. In a one-day tournament, everyone's dedicated that day. You can just be like, cool, your next opponent's this, just get the game done. But like people have lives and it's very hard, and I know like I'm very busy, so like
Mhm.
yeah, figuring out the ideal format to move both quickly and have more than, one game where you could. We didn't want anybody to sign up for this tournament, play one game, lose their first round, and be out. That would be a pretty big feels bad. So we're trying to make sure people have at least a few games.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's our growing pain, is finding the right format. So that's why we're trying so many different ones.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I,
And
I'm
and
I'm
how?
I'm more on the back end of it, of like
Okay.
managing all the numbers and spreadsheets and seeing all the game reports and people like I have a section in there of like what was the most impactful thing, was it skill or luck? Seeing people's perception of the game. So we have winners and losers
Mm.
do what was the most
It's
impactful
very
thing. They can talk about the same event in such a different lens.
different.
It's wonderful.
All skill I won. All luck that dude won.
Exactly. No, that's happened. Like it's happened. People have done that, and it's awesome. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
it is
So,
funny.
so, so how do you think it's going this season without Sorcerer and Archimago?
I personally love it. Just going into a
Okay.
game, knowing you're not into a sorcerer, and like Magoo's like sure, it's sorcerer that surprised me. Just getting rid of sorcerer, it's like every avatar is so identifiable. You walk into a death. I played two death speakers. It was
Wow.
it was I don't know.
What's that like?
It's really cool going into seeing a flame caller or death
Mhm.
speaker or druid. Like I know druid's a very flexible avatar, but seeing the identity of these different decks come through has been wonderful.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta agree, just because I never minded sorcerer, but the kind of decks that I play naturally prey on that kind of deck. Um, so it's just like, for me, it's not a big deal. But I can understand, like, if I wanted to play a different type of deck, how that would feel restricting to me. But the decks that I enjoy building the most are not playable when Magoo's a possible.
Mhm.
Like, if I walk into a Magoo, I'm like, oh, so next, like,
Yeah.
you win, great, I'm out. All right. So yeah, it's nice being able to build other types of decks other than just Magoo and Agra.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And we've got some ideas to try for next round, and we'll speak to those after this conversation and as more of like a formal announcement of specifics. But
Sure.
I'm very excited
Okay.
for next season.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And
I'm looking forward for the like season with the underdog avatar.
Oh yeah,
if
Some
you guys want to
freaked
get your
out.
hands on this bad boy,
Mhm.
sign up for April.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the underdog avatars though. Yeah, Elementalist. Maybe you can win this one and then play Elementalist in the underdogs.
so there's a good question of like, what's your avatar underdog like? If you could twist the rules, what would you change, or like what do you want to see tried out?
uh, you mean in terms of like?
So people talk about how they wish that Wave Shaper's ability wasn't a tap ability and it would be playable.
Oh
So if
no
you
no
could
no!
like change an ability, would
Wave
you have an
shaper.
avatar?
Wave shaper. It's not really understood in my opinion. I do play wave shaper. I think it's very strong. Oh
Interesting.
well, in terms of
Oh,
it's not
oh,
of course don't get me wrong, there is stronger decks, but I think it's necessary in order that you need to tap it, because if you don't need to tap it, it's just too much, because
I agree.
ramp mana and do the same ability. Otherwise, you can build a deck with 4 mana as your maximum as a curve, and then you do that every turn. Every turn, you're tapping everything, every turn you're like submerging whatever the fuck they play and you're tapping, then you move around. Then what you can do is use helpful hub and do tapping 2 times. So I think it's important that need to be tapped.
I would agree. I think Wave Shaper does become cracked. I don't think Avatar of Water is broken if you take away the tap ability, but
No.
I do think Wave Shaper would be
I would like that actually. I would like that Avatar of Water.
the teleporting avatar. I don't hate it.
You need to tap
I'm
it.
in.
Actually, if you're talking about like changing avatar,
Yeah.
the Avatar of Fire, that's so bad.
The worst avatar.
Why?
I think Spellslinger is better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact you
I'll
have to
take a card over
and
whatever that says.
tap and throw away card is wild.
Yes.
Just for 4
And
damage. That's all you
pay.
get.
And pay the mana.
Oh, and pay mana.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you, like just discarding sight and shooting that projectile, that would have been maybe playable, I think. But
Like
spending
2 damage,
mana,
I think.
mhm.
Yeah. Discard a card, pay 2,
Yes.
deal 2 or something. Or no, sorry,
Yeah,
do for
that would
free.
be fine.
Just 2 damage, no yeah.
Mhm.
That could be doable.
Yeah.
Especially if it was any site too, because Tithe.
Tie.
You can build a true Stone Rain deck, but it has to be a fire site, so it's just not gonna work. That avatar is just
Oh,
Yeah.
Great
I don't
art.
know what they were thinking about that.
great art.
Oh yes.
Great
bad card.
Beautiful.
Bad card. Yeah.
Very bad.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, we
Oh, it
really
was-
appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget to check out Pietro on Facebook and on Instagram.
Mhm.
And you will be seeing. I think we're doing the Elementalist for the top prize for next month in April. So sign up for that tournament so you can get your hands on this sweet altar. Again, we'll have better pictures than my blurry
Yeah,
stuff, but it really looks good in person.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Pietro. We'll see you
it was a
around.
pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Just me and CJ right now. We wanted to take some time and announce Season 4. Season 4 of the Sorcery Summit is going to be live Monday the 24th, the time you're seeing this. You can sign up. We're going to do the same thing as last time, where once the championship game is played, we'll make an announcement. 24 hours after that, the signups will close, and then 48 hours after that, we will start the Season 4 of the Sorcerer Summit. And then, CJ, you want to talk about prizing? We got a cool first place prize here.
Absolutely. So after you guys just saw us talking to Pietro, we are going to be offering up his Elementalist altar, which you can see on the screen here.
Yeah, I'll get that there. Yeah.
And that's going to go to first place, and they're also going to get a free entry into the following season or any season of the Sorcerer Summit. We'll just kind of like credit your account. Second place is $50, and then third and fourth place will get free entries into the following season of Sorcerer Summit, or $10, whichever you prefer.
Yeah. Nice. So really, we've said in the beginning we wanted to do altars as prizing just because the art in this game and the community. Like Pietro is an active player, as you heard. He plays weekly or daily or something,
which is awesome.
That's really cool. But then format wise for this one, we're gonna do away with pods. But season 2, I really liked the 4-player pod. So you knew who you were gonna play. You knew you needed to get 3 games in. But it got a little weird with odd number of people. So in this one, I'm going to write up a little script that's going to pair everybody against 3 unique players. And then so you'll know who you're going to play. You're going to know you have to have 3 games. And then it's very flexible in the sense of, like, if we get an odd number, like 27 people, I can work out the math to, like, get one person paired with 3 unique people and then kind of, like, shift it down the line and go it that way. So I think that's going to be really helpful in like play time. Like you can just go, hey, when are you available? And I'm available this time, and then you can schedule games for the next 14 days.
Yeah.
So,
and as far as restrictions go, I know we were talking about maybe doing like everyone being every other summit being unaltered. But we've actually had 0 pushback as far as banning Archimago and Sorcerer. And most people have said that compared to other leagues that they're in, this is like, 5 out of 5, this is the best versus like 4 out of 5. And so We kind of really wanted to try this point system we've been working on. So we've been talking about doing, instead of any bans, just a restricted list where you have a certain number of points for your deck and certain cards are pointed more heavily. And that way you have to make kind of real decisions as to which cards you want to put in your deck rather than just like good stuff. And so this season 4, we're going to be doing that. And Bruce, do you want to talk about the points a little bit more?
Yeah, so we have how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 cards that are going to be quote unquote pointed, and it's going to be each deck has 10 total points to use. So if you guys are familiar with Canadian Highlander, they have a point system and just kind of helps to reel in the most broken things. We're really interested to try this with Sorcery. Right now, these are very influx, very first go at it. We have a group of 7 people that have a conversation, myself, CJ, and some others. They're more than welcome to tell you if they're a part of this points community, but that's up to them. I'm going to keep that behind closed doors at the moment. But the cards are Ring of Morgan, who could have seen that one coming, at 3 points. And this will be in the description. Divine Healing at 3 points. So this is specifically targeted at Magoo. Tor's Hammer Trinket. Tor's Hammer Trinket with the ring is just ridiculous. You don't get to... You get a free gain of life, free damage. It's because of that interaction that Trinket is on the list here, and that's at 2 points. Common Sense is one of the best things you can be doing in Magoo. Like, you'll get Blink, go get something. Common Sense is at 1 point. So try to not hit other decks too hard, because other decks are usually playing 2 or 3 Common Senses, and so like 2 or 3 points is an okay like balance there. Also, the issue in the meta we found, I think specifically talking to Moth, is aggro. Charge is feels undercosted for what it is. Like Red Cap Poweries, a 3/3 for charge with very little downside, is a really, really strong card. So Red Cap is at one point, and another one that just kind of removes the positioning element of the game is Sarkhan Raiders, and that one's at 2 points. And those are the spellbook cards that we've pointed, and these probably will change and probably need to adjust some numbers, but this is the first go at it. And we have 3 avatars on the list. Archimago at 3 points. This could be honestly at 4 in my mind, just to hit that deck a little bit harder. And Sorcerer at 2. Sorcerer is just, like, I've personally enjoyed this summit with Sorcerer Band because you just see a lot of different avatars. I played against 2 Death Speakers. I've seen a lot of Flame Callers. A lot of Druids are still out there. And then Druid is at 1 point, just because Druid is a really, really fun avatar, but it's very, very strong with the free minion. You just get to fly around all the time. So those lists will be in the description. And then the other really cool thing is we have a member of the points community that made a little Chrome extension. So you can add this Chrome extension to your web browser and go to Curiosa and turn it on, and it will tell you how many points are in a deck. And I'll put up a little video here for everybody to see that. But it's really cool. It's really intuitive and easy to use. So I don't know, CJ, what do you think about the points?
I am really excited to do points. We, like Bruce was saying, these are kind of in flux. We kind of have, like, personally, I think I love Druid, but it's really broken. I think that could be higher, but like, again, it hasn't been
it's not
hasn't been
unfun
monopolizing
either.
anything. Yeah, it's not unfun. That's what I'm saying. So like, it's not. This is obviously what the points are going to be, and they're always going to be this way because there's discourse. We don't know what the right amount is. Charge is beatable by some archetypes, but it also like pushes a lot of archetypes out that could be seeing some play. So our goal isn't to say that this is the only deck that works. We need to nerf it into the ground. Our goal is to make the meta more broad and allow for other archetypes to be played. I know that this isn't going to make Enchantress playable, but when you're pointing like Common Sense, you actually have to think, do I want to put Common Sense Dispel in my deck? The answer is probably yes, but all of a sudden Enchantress might one day see play. Like, that's kind of cool. So again, it's not the only good decks in the meta right now are Magoo and Charge, so let's ban them. Those are the most prominent. Well, maybe Magoo by percentage isn't the most prominent, but those are the ones I think of most when I have to build my decks. So when those are a little bit harder to build, like with all of the best cards, you actually might get a more diverse meta. That's what we're really interested in seeing. We want Sorcery to be fun.
Yeah.
We want it to be competitive, but we want it to be fun.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping that this is going to help.
You made a good point there. Like, this point system isn't to nerf something into the ground. It is to try to pull back a few points, because Charge just removes a lot of mid to late game decks from being played. Like, you have to beat Charge. Like, that's just the first question you have to do when you build a deck. And then Magoo is like, well, do you want to play minions? I'm going to remove all of them. So trying to hit that a little bit. And we've heard that bans are, like, they're mixed. We did an extra interview, and they're like a rating out of 1 through 5 of how did you like the bans. It's about a 3, an average across everybody who's reported. So there are some people who like it. There are some people who don't. So we're trying to find a middle ground between not banning cards, because a lot of people don't want to ban cards right now, especially with the smaller card pool that we have, which makes sense. So trying to find out some mechanism to pull back and control the meta a little bit. And with one set a year, it's going to be hard to manage that. Like, Magic or some other games have a set every 3 months, so they can kind of like keep the meta fresh. Sorceries, we need some way to address problems. I don't know. In the future, there will be other broken things, so having something in place when we get to other broken things, I think, would be helpful.
And we know that Eric Curioso wants to make big, splashy, impactful cards, right? And those are going to be unique, and I think that that's good, right? And I don't think that the knee-jerk reaction should be like, new card, ban it. I think maybe like new card, we can put it on the point system and see how it does, and then we're like, well, actually, it's not that bad. We can lower the points. Okay, actually, it's a little bit worse than we thought it was. It's going up to 4 points. Like, it's a adjustable dial that we can just dial back certain cards that are just a little bit too powerful.
So also to that point about being uniques that are big and splashy, if you notice on the list, the only unique here is Ring of Morgan. We had conversations in the points committee about pointing Jihad or some other broken uniques, and like, that's not the point of the point system. A turn 2 Jihad is just going to be strong. It's just no matter what.
Oh, good.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
So we have distinctly decided not to go and point really strong uniques, because that's the point of the game. It's big splashy uniques. And so if you notice, all these are like Divine Healing is a 1 mana 7 impact, so probably should have been a unique in the first place. So that's kind of why we pointed it as the same as Ring of Morgan.
Mm-hmm. And Ring of Morgan, we kind of had that conversation about, do we want to point all these uniques? But that one was just ubiquitous, right? Yeah. Jihad at least has to be double fire threshold and a minion deck, and usually aggressive. So like, you're already into a niche archetype. Ring of Morgan is, are you playing spells?
Yeah, and it's in 100% of competitive decks. So like, that's kind of like why we were pointing it, and not so much because it's a unique or anything. It's just like the ubiquity of it. And yeah, I would love to hear what people have to say about the point system, what you want to see in the future. We'll have a conversation about it. But was that it? Do we have any other announcements? Season 3 is about to end. Top 8's going to cut over here in a minute. I'm really excited to see what comes out.
It's been really fun. Have you been enjoying it?
I've had a blast. Just knowing I'm not walking into Sorcerer or Magoo has been wonderful.
Yeah. It's actually a surprise when my opponent flips their avatar. I'm like, hey, Elementalist.
Yeah.
I played against 3. Actually, I've got 4 games in 3 unique avatars.
In my 4 games, I had a Druid, a Flamecaller, and 2 Death Speakers.
I have Elementalist, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to do the stats after the championship game to see it's a really cool diverse meta with those 2 gone.
Yeah. So no, it's been a lot of fun. It's been really interesting. So I hope that we can have a similarly diverse meta next month.
Yes, I think Magoo is going to be there, but I hope these changes kind of knock the points down a little bit. Like, you can only have 3 Divine Healings in a ring. You don't get Common Sense. Or no.
Well, you get 1 Common Sense.
You get 1 Common Sense.
3 Divine Healings, 1 ring. Yeah, 1 Common Sense.
Yeah, math is hard. It's 9:00 in the morning.
2 Divine
Healings, Common Sense in a ring.
It is really early. Oh man, we're bad.
But I'm excited to see what happens. We can make adjustments. Having a mechanism in place to manage the meta of sorcery is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Sign up for Sorcerer Summit Season 4. We'll love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.